Hello book friends, welcome back to my channel, The Book Judge. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe, like, and share with your friends. The first books I have for you on spring break are these two new ones. I'm going to hold them up super close to the screen so you can see. I'm then even going to try to pronounce the last name here because this author is from Stockholm and his books have been translated into English. This is the first book, this is the second, and I think there's more to come. Think Enola Holmes meets Charles Dickens. I really like this author's writing style. My only beef is a few swear words here. None in here, and I liked this book better. Swear words don't add anything to a book. So again, the author is from Stockholm. These books have been translated into English, and I believe there's more to come. He's an award-winning author there, and so I'm super glad to get books from other countries, and I'm glad these books are being translated. Get them for your family today. I'm going to put them in my own library, so grab these today and get to reading. I think it would be neat if these were made into movies, but you know my take on that. Hollywood messes up everything. Grab these books today. Second selection, The Scourge. It is so interesting the timing of when this came out. Some of you might remember a worldwide event just a few years ago called starts with the letter P, or some people refer to it with the letter C, and we're all trapped at home. It's very interesting the timing of this book. Jennifer Nielsen, as you know, is one of my favorite authors. I like a book that makes us stop and think. She asks a very important question in here that I think every American should ask themselves. Think before acting. Think and process and look around you. I think Jennifer Nielsen was forced to write a paragraph at the end of this, or asked to. This is too coincidental that it came out the same time as a worldwide event that kept us all locked in our homes that I can't say or I'll get censored, which shows we don't really have free speech. She says she was referring to leper colonies of old, how they were outcast, how they were treated poorly. I'm not sure if I believe that. Maybe she really was, but this story is too close to what we all lived. If you lived through 2019 to up to now, you know that we were facing some very interesting circumstances. This book addresses it. Our next selection actually is a book that really tells the story of an event that took place, and it is terrifying. The Wave. This was actually made into an after-school movie. Now, for those of you who don't know what that means you didn't grow up in the 70s or 80s. During those years, I think there were portions of Hollywood that were trying to fight drug problems and gang problems and bully problems through these movies that always were supposed to teach us a lesson in an hour. Most of the time, my mom thought they were garbage and she didn't allow me to see them. And I had piano lessons after school. We lived in a farm, so I had chores. So the TV was not on. It's not on at my house. We cut the cable to TV a long time ago. The book is based on what actually took place in a school here in America. The teacher was trying to teach his kids who asked the question, how could the purging of the Jews actually happen? The teacher tried an experiment. It got carried away. Some interesting results occurred because of this experiment. So this is kind of a tell-all book. It's very short, but this really happened in America. Years ago, I got my hands on the film and I showed it to a group of kids called Young Leaders of Anna in Anna, Texas, and they had some really good questions and thoughts after they read the book and saw the film. It's a little bitty book. It's a great read. There is some mild swearing in here that I'm not happy about. It is realistic. This really took place in the United States of America, and so I think you need to read it and be aware that things we think can't happen again probably already are, probably already have, and we'll find out about it in the future, and probably will again. We can be students of history and think that we won't repeat the same mistakes. We still have those same human tendencies to follow paths that benefit us, so we are likely to make the very same mistakes. You can read all the history you want, you can study all the history you want, but the reality is humanity hasn't changed much. This is a tell-all book. This is a good book. I recommend it for all ages. My next authoress is Nadine Brandis, or maybe it's Nadine Brands. I don't know how she says her last name. This is where Nadine Brands hits her stride. It is a fairly large book. It's called Wistress. This was my biggest surprise of spring. I can tell you that middle schoolers who are great readers are going to love this book. For high schoolers, it will become a favorite book. For college students and above, you're going to understand the deep themes that are taking place here below the surface of the story. So the story itself is interesting. If you're only reading at a surface level, it is extremely engaging. I really like liked the deeper biblical themes, good versus evil. The fact that all of us want to believe we're good, but we know we have that sin nature. We have that capacity to choose evil. We want to believe the best about ourselves, but that's what gets us in trouble. That's why history repeats itself. That's why bad things happen. It's coming from inside of us if we don't have a new heart and a new mind that's been surrendered to somebody larger than us, whom I call the God of the universe. This book has some very good themes that are worth exploring for adults, for college students, for high school students, for middle school students. This gives them something to think about as they enter their next phase of life. It's for everybody. Grab your copy today. This is brand new, hot off the presses. I got it in March. Jennifer Nielsen explores Uprising. It's about a youth uprising in Warsaw, Poland during World War II. I've been in Warsaw, Poland. It's amazing how much Warsaw exists underneath what you see. There's such an underground market and travel system in place. I was just overwhelmed how they recovered from World War II. I went in 1996. Most families are multi-generational, or they were in 1996. Grandpa and grandma stayed home, so mom and dad could both go to work, and then kids went to school for 2 to 5 hours, depending on age group and study level, came home, did homework, and everybody helped around the home. I've never met such happy people, such sharing people, such loving people. So I think there's something to that multi-generational living. I know we like our space and our freedom, but maybe our space and freedom has cost us something. These kids went to war against Germany and Russia and created such an uprising in Warsaw, Poland, that both nations had to reassess their takeover or their desired takeover of Poland. These are true young heroes and heroines. Pull your kid, get him off the iPhone, get him off his Samsung, get the earbuds out of her ear, get her off her laptop, quit the gaming, and hand them this book. This is the mindset I think teenagers ought to have. They have the most vitality, they can stay up longer, and they can do more, and their minds are young and fresh, and none of these people wasted their talents. This is a true story. This book is invigorating and it is convicting, and I bought it for my dad. Happy birthday, Dad. He turns 88 on Sunday. I know he'll love it because he's a student of history as I am. So get this book from Jennifer Nielsen today. Hot off the presses at Amazon. You can probably get it cheaper at Walmart. Grab it today. And finally, you know that I've decided to quit becoming an Amazon associate because I'm not always convinced they're giving us the best price on anything. And I don't feel good about recommending something that you can't get for a good price. So I go to my local store. If you are in the Tennessee southern part of the United States, you probably know about a bookstore called Vacay's, where we can take our materials if we have more than one, or if we don't want them anymore, we can go sell them. We either get credit to go shopping within the store, or you can ask for cash back. The bigger deal is to get credit and go shopping. But I will warn you, there are areas there that I would never let my kids tread. There are places I just don't go. I just stick to certain sections of the store because my mind doesn't need garbage and neither does yours. But when I find a treasure from there, I have to tell you about it. Look at this price down here. If you can see it from a case, it's $1 and it's called The Borrowed House. What I didn't notice when one of my kids looked at me and said, "Mom, I think you like this book," was this little Nazi flag here. This is how people used to write. This is how people used to make their own covers. This is how people used to think. This demonstrates eloquence of thought, provoking words, and the reality of the situation all at once. We are wanting to see where this book goes from the beginning, which is the way this authoress writes. I did not know that this lady had written like 20 books. Check this out. This is a self-portrait of the authoress. So she gives up this information near the end of her life. This is a book that has been brought back out. It was reestablished in the market in 2016, and there's some information at the beginning of the book and at the end of the book by a family member. This is such a good book. If you need a teen romance, there's that. If you need some scary times and some espionage, there's that. But I think every upper elementary student should read it. I think every middle schooler should read it. I think every high schooler and college person should read it. And as an adult, I, of course, realize it's being written for a younger age group, but it doesn't take away my love for it. This book provides a satisfying conclusion. I appreciate you for hanging in there with me. Keep reading, keep learning, build that library, and shelve those books that are worth it. We'll see you next time on The Book Judge. Goodbye, friends.